So the basic difference that you can see over here, alif is always empty, as we can see over here. That's number one. And number two, we can see that it never comes in the beginning of the word. And whenever we put hamza itself, or whenever we put kasra or dhamma or fatha, or even the sukoon sign, then it becomes hamza and we do not call it alif anymore. Is this clear? Very important, this information, because hamza is like, as I said, very naughty and very, very delicate. It keeps on changing. So we need to know from the beginning what is the difference between hamza and between alif. I hope it's clear now. We can move on to the next part of the lesson. Okay, here we have insanun. So what is this? Is this alif or hamza?
Hamza.
Hamza, excellent. And why is it hamza? Because it has a vowel sign on this. So this is hamza, excellent. What about this one?
Alif.
Alif, excellent. And why is this alif? Because it is empty, excellent. Empty, perfect. It's empty and it does not have any vowel sign on that. So that's the big difference, or the basic difference between alif and hamza. And in this word we have both of them. We have hamza and alif together. Then we move on to the Arabic vowel signs. They are called harakat. Harakatun is singular and the plural is harakatun. There are only 3 short vowel signs, only 3, and they are very important. Inshallah, when you proceed, you will see that they play a very, very important role in understanding the Arabic language, and also they play a very important role when it comes to the meaning as well. So we need to master them before we move on, because we will be dealing with them, inshallah, for the rest of our lives. So that's why we need to focus on them. So the first one, since we are learning Arabic, so we need to know the names in Arabic. So the first one we can see here is around, like it's like a comma. So it's dhamma, it's called dhammatun, and it has the u sound, as we can see over here, rusulun, rusulun. It shouldn't be pronounced as rosulun because it's ru sound, so it's basically dhamma, so it will be rusulun. Then we have the second one is fatha, a small strike which is above the letter, fathatun, and it's the a sound, as we can see over here, kataba. So we are focusing only at one. We can have more than one, but we will focus on one at one time. So we can see over here, kataba is a sound over here. And then we have kasra, a small strike which is under the letter or the harf, and it's called kasratun, and it has the e sound, as we have sami'a. So please focus on these 3. We have rusulun, kataba, and sami'a. So we have the basic sounds that we have. We have u, a, and e, as we can see here. So you can place them on all the letters one by one, and you can get that sound like bu, ba, bi. Similarly, all the letters, if you want to practice more, starting from ba up to ya, you can practice them with the basic short vowel signs, and inshallah you will master them once you practice them all. So these are the short vowels. Now we move on to the long vowels. So what are the long vowels? They are basically elongated dhamma. So what happens? The dhamma becomes longer. So dhamma, fatha, and kasra, we prolong them for 1 second. And when we talk about the long vowels, normally we prolong them for 2 seconds. So for example, here we can see it's wow basically, but the sound we can see is oo sound, and it will be rasulun, rasulun. So we can see over here that it is prolonged for almost 2 seconds. The first one was rusulun. Rusulun was for 1 second, and now we can see that oo sound is prolonged for 2 seconds, and normally a wow has dhamma before it, as we can see over here. So it becomes long dhamma, so it will be rasulun. So the second one is long fatha, which will be the a sound. We have over here kitabun. So in the previous example, it was kataba, kataba. But when you prolong it, it becomes kitabun. and we can see that we have the a sound over here, and normally alif is compatible with fatha, and then we have the long kasra, which is basically ya, and it is pronounced as e. So we get the sounds of u, a, e, as we have here sami'un. In the previous example we had sami'a, and now you can see over here it is sami'un. And please remember that when we prolong the sound, the meaning will definitely change. Sami'a means he heard, and sami'un means who will hear or who hears continuously. Similarly, kataba, he wrote, but kitaban means a book, and rusulun means messengers, and rasulun means only one messenger. So you can see over here the meanings will change. So that's why we need to focus a lot on these short vowels and long vowels. And now again, for your practice, what you can do, I have just given the example of like wow or bu, ba, bi, but what you can do, you can practice all the letters starting from ba, bu, bi, ta, tu, ti, all of them, so that you are able to master them. And this is very, very important. It's for two reasons. Number one, for learning Arabic, and number two, when you are reciting the Quran, this is also very, very important. Okay, first we saw the difference between alif and hamza. Now let's see the difference between ya and short alif. Short alif, as we can see over here. So ya has two dots, as we can see over here. It has two dots and normally has kasra before it, as we saw the signs kasra or fatha before it. Most of the times it has kasra before it, but there is a possibility that it can have fatha before it as well. Whereas short alif, as we can see over here, is empty and has fatha before it. So like alif, short alif always has fatha before it. So these are the two things that are common between alif and short alif. Now here the na. So is this ya or short alif? Short alif, yeah, please call it short alif, because alif is the long one, as we saw in the beginning, is like this, and this is called short alif. Excellent. And why do we say that? Because we have fatha before it and it does not have two dots, as we can see over here. What about dinun? Dinun.
Yeah.
We have ya over here. Excellent. For two reasons. We have kasra before it, and also it has two dots, so that's why we will say that this is ya. Excellent. And then we have wailun. What about wailun? Is this ya as well? Again, excellent. And the reason is the same, that we have two dots under it. However, as I mentioned, that sometimes it can have fatha before it, but most of the times it takes kasra before it, because ya is compatible with kasra. However, it is possible that it can have fatha before it. Now we can see that alifun. So let's see what they are. Alifun is like this, as we can see, al-qari'ah. So where is the alif over here in al-qari'ah?
Alif.
The blue one, right?
Hamza.
Yeah, in the beginning we have hamza, and in the middle we have alif. And as I said, that alif will never come in the beginning of the word. Then we have alif maqsura, and now you can see it's called short alif, so it has a different name. So look at the difference, please. There is a difference between these. This is called alif, only alif, as we can see over here. However, this is called alif maqsura, short alif, and this is how it is written. As we can see over here, it is empty and there is a fatha before it. So this is the difference between alif and short alif. And then the next one that we have over here is ya'un, and as we have seen that ya'un carries, or it has two dots, and it's clear from the example over here when you say kitabi. Now here it is ya, for two reasons. Number one, it has two dots, and also it has kasra before it. So I hope now, inshallah, that the difference between alif maqsura, and ya is very clear now. And similarly, the difference between hamza and the difference between hamza and alif is also clear. And the reason I'm emphasizing again and again, because it happens a lot, and we will be discussing several times talking about these terms. So you have to memorize them so that when you go through, inshallah, and we proceed further, you don't get confused like what exactly is going on. Then we have the vowel sounds as we continued. So we had the long vowels, and then we had the short vowels, and now we have tanween on nunation. Tanween is also very, very important, plays a very important role. So the short vowels, the long vowels, and then tanween. So what is basically tanween? It's basically we have dhamma and we just make it double. So we double it. So we will say double commas or two commas, and it is called dhammatan, as we can see over here, dhammatan. So it is called tanween. For example, we have over here kitabun. So we have two dhammas over here, or we say dhammatan. So it is kitabun. Similarly, we have fathatan, which is again two strikes. And whenever, inshallah, when we will discuss more about this, you will see that the word, when it has fathatan, it also needs extra alif. And that is for different reasons. So inshallah, we will discuss about that. So fathatan, it was basically fatha before, and now it became two. So it has become fathatan. And then we have kasratan. So one is kasra and two will be called as kasratan. And we can see over there that they will be below the letter. So we know dhammatan are above the letter, as we can see over here, and fathatan are also above the letter, whereas kasratan are below the letter. So these are this is called tanween, or we call that nunation. Why do we call that nunation? Because this is also basically the noon sound, but it's a different way of writing noon. So you should know that noon is written in two ways. Number one, it is written like this, and number two, this is also noon. How? When you read it, how do you read it without stopping? You will say kitabun. How will you read it? Kitabun, right? So what do we have in the end? We have noon. So that's why it's called the noon sound, and it's called tanween, because it's a different way of writing noon. So this is basically also the noon sound, as we can see over here, nunation. So it is kitabun. Similarly, kitaban. So only the haraka changes, the pronunciation remains the same, kitaban. And again, the haraka changes over here, or the vowel sound changes here, so it becomes kitabin. So the end, what do we have? The noon sound. That's why it is called tanween. The next vowel sign that we have over here is also very important. It is called sukoon. As you can see, the translation is like something that is vowelless or something that is silent. So you will find words in Arabic or in the Quran, as you can see, that they are sakin. What does that mean? They do not have any vowel sign. And the vowel sign means when we talk about they are mutaharrik, like fatha, dhamma, and kasra, dhammatan, fathatan, and kasratan, they are mutaharrik. But this is sakin. Sakin means it does not have any vowel sign on that. For example, ka has dhamma, so we will say this is mutaharrik. But noon doesn't have any sign or any vowel sign on that, so we will say this is sakin. And then the last one is tashdid. What is tashdid? It is basically stress. And why is it called stress? Because the letter is pronounced with stress, and basically there are two letters. The letter in Arabic, the rule is like when the two letters are the same, then they are assimilated, or they are put together and they are merged into one, and tashdid is placed on that. So that's why it is called tashdid, as we can see over here. So it will be rabbun, rabbun. So when you are pronouncing, basically ba occurs twice. It has occurred twice, but it has been merged into one ba. But after merging, there is an addition of tashdid on that tells that two letters have been assimilated into one letter. So that's why it has become tashdid. So you can see over here, it's basically rabbun, but after assimilation, it becomes rabbun. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Rabbil Alameen will be wrong, so we say Rabbil Alameen. Okay, now time for test. Okay, the first one, what is this?
Alif.
Excellent, Alif.
Alif.
The second one,
Short alif.
Short alif. Excellent. And try to memorize excellent in Arabic as well. Alif maqsura. Perfect. The next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Why it's yeah and why this is alif maqsura?
It's got two dots at the bottom.
Excellent. What's next?
Hamza.
Hamza. Okay. Hamza. And what about this one?
Hamza.
Hamza. Excellent. Okay, so now you can see here that this is the original form of Hamza, and here it has, because it has sakin on that, so we discussed that alif, wherever it comes empty, it's alif, but whenever we put anything onto it or under it, then it becomes sakin, and it changes, sorry, into alif, or in fact Hamza, so it becomes Hamza. Excuse me, yeah. So this is Hamza, and this is also Hamza. Okay. What about these three signs over here?
Dhamma, Fatha, Kasra.
Okay, are these long vowels or short vowels? Short vowels, excellent. Perfect, okay. Then we have the next one. What do we call them?
Tanween.
Okay, Dhammatain or Dhammatan, Fathatan and Kasratan, and what's the name? And what's the name? The name is Tanween. Nunation or Tanween, excellent. What about these?
Wow, alif and
Long
ya.
vowels.
Long vowels, excellent, perfect. So these are long vowels, as we can see over here. And what is the difference between long vowels and short vowels? Short vowels?
Long vowels.
Just 2 seconds for the long.
Yeah, we prolong them for 2 seconds, and the short vowels, we prolong them for 1 second. Excellent. And what about this one? Sukun or sakin. Excellent, perfect. And the last one is Tashdeed. Yeah, so yeah, there is a small mistake over there. Yeah, so the first one is Sukun, and the second one is Tashdeed. And subhanallah ta'ala, that clearly shows that we are weak, we are human beings, we make mistakes, we are not perfect, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is perfect. And that shows our weakness, that we are weak and we all make mistakes. That's why we must never think that we are perfect. Of course not. So intaha darsu al-yawma, today's lesson is finished. Again, please, the lessons will be short, but they will consist of lots of information.